la 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 la.
Welcome back to We Sound Like Nerds, official podcast of werewolves, not swearwolves. I'm John.
This is Kyle.
And I'm Jordan.
We just watched the trailer for What We Do in the Shadows, a movie Jordan and Kyle have not seen. And we bring that up because we're going to be talking about a lot of trailers today. That's what we have on the docket. Because since we last spoke, some major trailers dropped for a lot of movies. Before we get into trailer talk, Jordan, you finally saw Deadpool.
I did.
And what'd you think?
You're not going to be happy with me. I feel like you kind of overhyped it.
Well, this
for
one
me.
did.
What? Overhyped. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't really live up to the expectations I had for it.
Was it funny?
At time, I feel like I probably missed a lot of jokes.
Okay.
I mean, I never busted a gut.
Yeah. I busted a gut a couple times. But it is very... I don't want to say it's like Dane Cook in its delivery, where you have to be in the right... Like, you have to watch it at the right time without being exposed to it beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise...
Kind of taints it if you...
On the third viewing, dick and fart jokes are... I mean, they're juvenile.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
But, I mean, most of his banter with other characters is what I like about Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of him, at least. And for plot, it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's an origin story, so...
Yeah, they're usually so-so in story, especially if you already know how the origin happened. Which, this was different, wasn't it? This isn't really the comic book origin.
Yeah, he's experimented on in the Weapon X program.
I thought it was Thanos that did something to him. Something about... Because I was reading about Lady Death.
Yep.
And he and her had something, and Thanos got jealous.
Oh, that's possible. If it's, like, not the primary Marvel universe.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Because, Lady Death and Thanos is, like, in love with Lady Death, so...
And because Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is also in X-Men Wolverine, right?
Yes. X-Men Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
And what's, like, does his movie follow... I guess I've never seen Origins. How does he
You saw
become...
part of it, right?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay.
But how does he become Deadpool in Origins?
He goes to the Weapon X program.
So it's the same.
Kind of, but they don't make Deadpool in that movie. He plays Wade Wilson, but he doesn't play Deadpool. Like, the character that they make is not Deadpool.
Even though it's a guy with a burned up face and...
Yes.
Has all the powers.
But no, that's the thing. He has all these powers. He has like arm blades. They used all of the other mutants that they were kidnapping in X-Men Origins Wolverine and put those powers into him.
Yeah.
He was more like Mimic.
Yeah, more like Mimic than Deadpool. Because Deadpool's really only power is the hyper healing. But he can't heal the damage that he already did.
Oh, okay.
Alright, still going.
And I've seen the ending... and I've seen the ending of Origins, and at the end, Wade Wilson's head gets cut off, and he falls down into the...
Yep.
And then at the end of the movie, his eyes open, and his body starts crawling back to him or something.
Yeah.
But nothing ever comes of that?
No.
Like, he doesn't come back in any of the later movies?
Nope. That is a loose end that is never tied up by Fox. Thank God, because that movie was terrible. And plus, with, like... everything that happened in Days of Future Past, it would have erased all of that anyways. If you were looking at a true canon for the X-Men movies, which you really can't because they don't really have one.
Not for the movies.
No. All you need to do is watch the previous one that came out.
Yeah.
And X-Men Dark Phoenix got a release date for 2018.
Ooh.
So...
And that's going to follow what?
It's going to be the young X-Men generation. They'll probably go to the 90s.
Is it going to have McAvoy as
Yeah.
Xavier?
I would assume so.
Okay.
So it's going to follow Days of Future Past and Apocalypse?
It'll follow Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where Jean Grey gets the Phoenix power stuff again. Dark Phoenix.
But a young Jean Grey.
Yes.
So
Played by Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. She's been Jean Grey.
I was going to say
She's
was
the younger
Jean Grey.
Is Jennifer Lawrence still going to be in this one?
No, I think she's done. I think Apocalypse was the last one.
No more Mystique?
Was she killed off in Apocalypse?
No.
Or just her contract ran out and
Ran out, and
they're just going to write her out somehow?
yeah. And apart from First Class, I like J-Law, but it's a universe, like you have two X-Men universes. You have one built around the Wolverine character, and the new one basically built around Mystique. She's in all of the new franchise ones. First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse. I feel like I'm missing one. Am I? I don't know. No, I'm not. Am I?
No.
Was
I don't
she
think
in
so.
Was she in Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's one of the main characters.
Well, so if the previous three were written around her, what's going to happen? They're just switching over to Jean Grey now? all of a
Yeah,
sudden?
because the X-Men movies, Mystique was never an X-Men.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you build a franchise around her. She's always been a villain, too. She's always been a lackey of Magneto's and stuff. So what they did with the newer X-Men movies, that's fine. I get it. But Xavier really just started the school in Days of Future Past, basically.
Yeah, it was...
Full of students,
yeah,
not just one group of kids.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Because he was basically living there with Hank.
Yeah.
And they were basically just by themselves,
Yeah.
weren't they? Yeah.
Getting up to all kinds of crazy hijinks.
Running around the halls, being all drunk.
So yeah, Deadpool, just okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a couple parts are coming back to me, like talking about the school. I got a kick out of when he made a comment, something about, oh, this big house and there's only 2 X-Men or something.
Could you not afford any more?
Or, yeah, that's what it was. I got a kick out of that. I got a kick out of when he broke the 4th wall within the 4th wall.
Yeah.
And then even broke, if there's a 5th wall, by mentioning his own name.
Yep.
By saying Ryan Reynolds.
Sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you appreciate all of the relationship with him and it's not Vanessa. What's his character's his girlfriend's name?
I think it's Vanessa.
Is it Vanessa?
Because she's actually not Domino. I think she is a character.
Yeah,
she?
she's a character in the comics at least.
Yeah.
Their marathon year of sex that they have. Blake Lively, who's married to Ryan Reynolds, described how awkward it was for her, like watching those scenes, but then having people come up to her and saying like, "Oh, I love Deadpool. I love your husband's movie," and she like, I don't know if she was on Conan or Kimmel or something, but she was talking about how it's really awkward when little kids came up and were like, and it's like, why are your parents letting you watch this? This is terrible.
But wasn't there something about mashed potatoes getting eaten out of his butt?
Yeah.
When did
What, didn't they do that in Thanksgiving?
I thought so.
I didn't ever see it go into his butt.
Well,
Thankfully.
yeah. Why would you want to see that?
But so is it just implied
I think
somehow?
so.
I guess I missed that part.
Because they were for Thanksgiving they were on the table.
Yeah,
right?
I
And the
remember
food was all
that,
around
and I
them.
remember mashed potatoes being.
Yeah, because I think Ryan Reynolds actually had it in his butt. Not they didn't
They
film
didn't
that,
show it.
but he was on the table.
I could have
and
swore
food
when
was
you
going.
told me previously about her being on a show or something, she talked about it being eaten out of his butt.
It could have been.
And I didn't see that part, so that confused me.
It really made you mad.
Yeah, it sounds weird that I'm mad about that, but
Totally expecting mashed potatoes getting eaten out of orifices, but
Ryan Reynolds.
1 star.
That's the main point of the conversation. So I had a funny story. So Jordan, what final grade do you give Deadpool?
I gave it a B+.
That is not the grading scale for this show.
I said, is there a yeah?
So
I
Jordan,
thought it was fluid the first time.
I thought there was something that got picked up. He was just like, all right, let's do it again.
yeah, I said let's do it. That's when I was like this. Okay, we'll do it one more time. So Jordan, what would you say your final grade on Deadpool is?
I'll give it a yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Firmly between an yeah and a yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a yeah.
I give it a yeah. Only because it's just like a fresh take on superhero things. It was intentionally trying to be funny as opposed to dramatic, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those instances where the studio trusted the crew on the movie enough where they ended up with really gold. I mean, it broke tons of awards for most highest grossing R-rated movie, highest grossing February movie, highest grossing comic book movie for a bunch of different categories and stuff. So
Nice. Hopefully the second one holds up.
yeah, hopefully
When does the second one come out?
later than now. I don't remember.
They cast, who's it, Josh Brolin?
Yeah,
As Cable?
yeah. Casting news.
Ooh, doesn't he also play
He plays
Thanos?
Thanos
Yeah.
on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Really?
Yeah, so we got people jumping ships. A lot of people wanted Steve guy from Avatar. He looks like Cable. The general guy.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, he definitely
Because he
looks
was all
like Cable.
jacked.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then a couple months ago, Pierce Brosnan, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds were sitting in a row doing the Hear No Evil, See No Evil, Speak No Evil. And so people thought that was a hint that Pierce Brosnan was going to be Cable, which also would have worked.
That would have been pretty cool. Been interesting.
Yeah.
I think Josh Brolin looks a little more than Pierce Brosnan, but yeah, Josh Brolin. Yeah,
That's fine. He's got silver hair anyways, so they'll have to do something with that.
the old man.
So I got a call from my mom a couple weeks, last week, and she's like, hey, I'm at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble, your one-stop shop for your book needs. Literary. And coffee. And toys. They have a huge toy section now. It's
Do they?
ridiculous. So anyways, my mom's at Barnes & Noble, and she's like, hey, do you want a book or something? I can get you one. And I don't really read books anymore because I use Audible. Audible.com. Over 150,000 books on audio. Try now for 1 month free if you find a website that has a little try a month free. A lot of sponsors this week we need to get through.
I was gonna say, when did we get sponsored?
So anyways, I was like, no, I don't really read that much. I do, quote unquote, read with Audible. I'm a Audible user myself. And I just finished my collection of the Dark Tower series. And I've currently been collecting the Harry Potter books for my kids so they can listen to it on their Bluetooth speakers at night. And I was like, but you know what? I was there a couple months ago and I saw like some of the more grown-up coloring books.
Mm-hmm.
For people that have to stay busy or, you know, like staying busy. They're actually really interesting. I got a Game of Thrones one for Christmas from my sister. And I was like, there was a really cool Wolverine one. I would take anything, though, like a Wolverine, Star Wars, just something cool like that. And she's like, great, I'll see what they have. And she comes back home, and I pull it out of the bag, and she got me a Flash coloring book.
Boo.
And I was like, the look of defeat on my face was obviously noticeable because she's like, "Oh, you don't want it?" Because it was like $18. So I was like, "No, it's great, thanks. I mean, you just basically bought me Pepsi when I asked for Coke, but that's fine." So yeah, I don't know. I've basically whittled down my red colored pencil to almost nothing already because he's one color. So, yeah, it got me thinking about coloring books and stuff, and it didn't, actually. I just made that up. That was just a funny, what do they call it? Not a funny story. Anecdote?
Yeah, sure. I think that would work.
Funny anecdote. I started writing again, so that's good. I've been neglecting my true calling for a while. Major trailers. This just in. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The most underwhelming trailer I think I've ever been excited for.
Yeah, it was... I mean, it almost seemed like they could have taken all those clips out of the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And you would have been like, oh, okay. Looks pretty normal.
So, Jordan, did you watch The Last Jedi trailer?
I did, but I don't remember it. I remember it starts with...
It's forgettable.
I remember it starts with Rey being out of breath.
Yep, training.
Yep.
So, I don't know if it's because we just had Episode 7 2 years ago, but we're not introduced to any new characters, it doesn't look like, in the trailer. We see Rey, we see Finn, we see Poe, we see BB-8, we see Luke, we see the back of Leia's head.
The bad guy.
Kylo Ren. Who has a very teensy little scar from getting slashed in the face with a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Bacta, man. We need to get some Bacta tanks on this. In this bish. It looks like Finn is in some type of Bacta suit. I've read about. So he should be back and raring to go.
Because he was unconscious in the trailer, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't never.
He's just in that like
seen
pod.
him awake.
I haven't played it, but it reminded me of those Fallout 4 robots.
Oh yeah, the Securitron.
Yeah, Securitron. I don't know what it is because I've never played Fallout 4. Hey, look at that! You're wearing a Fallout shirt.
Figure if we sound like nerds, we better dress the part.
I'm not wearing pants. So
it's because they're hoisted up on the flagpole by the bullies that beat us up.
It's true. We would have gotten beat up. We were at the store earlier tonight getting some hard cider.
Three grown men buying 1 6-pack of hard cider.
We were gonna get wild.
We are gonna get wild.
That's what they were thinking.
Yeah. Each of us can have one. Wait, that's wrong. Each of us can have 2. Nerds are better at math than we are. So the only interesting part, it looks like we do get to see the betrayal of Kylo Ren at the Jedi Temple because it's the same shot from, it's the reverse angle of the shot from the Episode 7 trailer where Luke puts his hand on R2-D2.
Oh yeah.
So that's the reverse shot and a longer cut of it where it looks like he's falling down to his knees because he's like, oh my god, what did I let happen? And then he puts his hand on R2-D2. So that'll be interesting because Episode 7 suffers from, we're missing 20 years of history between Return of the Jedi and
Force Awakens.
So hopefully we get more of that. Then we're left with a ominous, it's time for the Jedi to end quote.
Yeah, which sounded like it was Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. It's definitely Mark Hamill. Obviously, theories are abound, and I don't know if I actually want to get that involved with Episode 8 that I did with Episode 7, with trying to figure out what the story's about before I go see the movie.
I thought with that he meant there was something, they needed to be better than Jedi, somehow. Like some...
It's possible.
With this new breed between Rey and Finn, possibly, more than likely, he's got some force.
Yeah.
You know, that they need something not quite, because obviously the Jedi and the Sith have been fighting for a long time, so they need something to one up the Sith.
Yeah.
Something better than the Jedi.
Yeah, possibly. And in Star Wars Rebels, I think it's Star Wars Rebels, it could be Clone Wars, the animated shows, there are these things called Grey Jedi.
Oh, really?
Which are a canon thing, and they use both light side and dark side.
Ooh.
So maybe Luke is talking about, with the Force awakening in Episode 7, and now it's The Last Jedi, one of my theories is he means Jedi and Sith have to, like, meld together to be both good and bad.
The yin and the yang?
Yes, having a true balance in the Force.
Yeah.
Or it's an extended line, and he's telling Rey about when Kylo Ren assaulted the Jedi Temple, and he's like, Kylo Ren said, it's time for the Jedi to end.
Taken
But we
out of
only get the,
context.
it's time for the Jedi to end.
Yep.
Two possibilities. Who knows? We're just throwing everything at the wall to see what will stick, and then we'll call ourselves geniuses when we're like, hey, see, we told you.
Yeah, that one part stuck. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
I saw one theory that was saying, what if the true balance of the Force is that both the Sith and the Jedi have to be gone?
Oh, to bring balance to the Force? Oh,
To bring
that's
back,
interesting.
then if they neither one exists, then obviously it's balanced out.
Right.
True.
So that could be what he means by that it's time for the Jedi to end.
Sure.
I like that. It's interesting.
It is interesting. So, yeah, Last Jedi trailer. Not great, not bad. Just, eh.
Yeah, it was a man.
A lot of people seemed, they thought Episode 7 was exactly like A New Hope. And they're hoping that this one isn't exactly like Empire Strikes Back.
They're
with
not hoping?
They're not hoping
Right.
because of 7 being so close to 4. And this one looks like it's going to be Rey getting trained by Luke. That's the same as Luke being trained by Yoda in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
They're basically just following the same, is what it seems like. So,
Yeah, hopefully it's different. Ryan Johnson, the director, said it's going to be different. So, but you never know. Personally, I think it's a very weak argument to lay against Episode 7. Like, oh, it's just like Episode 4. Pretty much every movie is just like some other movie, especially when you have an anthology of films that have been going on for 7 movies now. They're going to have reoccurring themes, which was basically what George was talking about way back when, where he talked about how the stories are poetry and you have the exact same themes happening over and over. Obviously, the sound of the picture of the images is going to seem similar.
Movie rhythm.
Anyways, let's move along. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was announced during Star Wars Celebration.
Now that's a good trailer right there.
Looks interesting. I played the first one, and it's funny because the changes that they're making for Star Wars Battlefront 2, we don't know how long the campaign's going to be, I don't think. But they're adding an actual story mode campaign. All of the things that they're adding seem good, seem like good additions. It seems like EA and DICE have been listening to fan feedback about how most people play Battlefront 4 casually. Like there was a group of serious people that were playing Star Wars Battlefront, but most people, it was just a casual thing. It wasn't ever as popular as the Battlefield series. So the changes that they're making are good, and it's funny how it reflects Battlefront and Battlefront 2, the original ones, on Xbox and stuff, because Battlefront 2 on Xbox was far better than the first one.
Yeah.
With features and stuff like that. It's great that they're doing all eras, Clone Wars and Galactic Civil War and even Force Awakens. But yeah, I don't know. Star Wars game.
never played one. So I'll sit this one out.
Star Wars? The Battlefront?
Battlefront?
We played here for a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah. We
I think
played.
I think we
Oh,
played for
well,
a
yeah,
bunch.
but not enough to have an input, I guess. On,
Right, we played...
I guess that was my only experience with it too, but I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty good for a shooter. Huh?
Yeah, so the original games were third person.
Yes, the old ones. That's why I was like, those felt more like the Dynasty Warrior games almost.
Kind of.
Like it was more...
Do you remember the first Mercenaries game
I do. I liked that game.
by Pandemic? Pandemic did Battlefront and Battlefront 2. It's a third person. You kind of go around the big map and stuff. And then when EA got it, they turned it into a Battlefield clone. But I like Star Wars. It's one of the most beautiful looking games for the current gen. Best sounding games for the current gen. I don't like EA's DLC practices. I think a lot of studios are moving away from that style, but it's like $135 for the digital deluxe supreme premium.
I know.
Diamond edition.
How many extra words can we throw in here?
You guys aren't Capcom. Come on. So, yeah, after a year when the player base is half of what it was at launch, all the complete edition will be available for, $20 or $30. But do I want to wait that long for a single player campaign that might be 5 to 10 hours?
Yeah, they're usually pretty skimpy on those.
But it'll be great to see the Clone Wars in current gen graphics, because I think it has some of the most beautiful scenery and stuff in the prequels.
Definitely.
Because we haven't seen much of what happened in Force Awakens universe. We get a few locations, but really backup for Tatooine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seemed
backup
more like
for Hoth.
Rogue One locations.
Rogue One had a billion locations.
Yeah,
a ton of locations. We're also kind of keeping these short, which is good. We have one more trailer to talk about. Oh, did you notice that the intro, you didn't because you don't watch it, but the intro song for Rick and Morty is based off the time of Doctor Who theme?
Is it?
Yeah.
Just off this new season, or all of them?
All of them. So yeah, we have one last trailer to talk about. Thor Ragnarok finally dropped a teaser trailer. And it was interesting because Thor breaks the fourth wall in the trailer. He talks directly to the audience.
Does he?
Yeah, he says, at the start, he says, I bet you're wondering how this happened. And I don't know if that's going to be a running theme throughout the movie, because I think that could really Deadpool up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's interesting that in the trailer, at least, Thor breaks the fourth wall. I don't know if it's just a trailer thing, or do you guys think it might be in the movie?
I'm imagining it's a trailer thing, because when they show it, it doesn't look like he's saying the words. Like when he's basically at the end of the chain.
Yep.
So it looks like he might be saying something, but I don't think it was that. So I'm hoping it's a trailer thing.
Okay.
I would think it's a trailer thing too. I don't see Marvel stooping to
that level. Kind of because the one thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they've had different directors. I don't know if you can really tell. They all seem pretty much the same, except for the Russo brothers with Captain America Winter Soldier seeming so much darker and more of a spy movie than the other movies.
Yeah, more intrigue.
Yeah.
So I loved this trailer. If you had to compare a Star Wars Last Jedi trailer versus this one, it's like, whoa, this really knocked it out of the park. The music choice, is that Zeppelin?
That's Zeppelin.
Some Led Zeppelin. And Thor's reaction when he sees it's Hulk that he's going to have to fight in this gladiatorial arena. Yes!
Gets everybody else quiet. They're like, did he just say yeah?
Yeah. Everybody's scared of this guy. So it left a couple questions open too, because this trailer has been hailed as a buddy road trip movie with him and the Hulk.
That's kind of interesting.
So if they're fighting, this has got to be at least in the first act of the movie.
Oh.
So there could still be the main villain to show up later.
Well, I mean, Cate Blanchett.
Right. She might start all this in motion and stuff. So we did get one question answered. What happened to Hulk after Avengers 2? I guess his ship did go to space, like people were thinking. And he ends up in... they're taking Planet Hulk storyline stuff and putting it in this because they can't do a standalone Hulk movie with Paramount owning rights to a solo Hulk film. Hulk can be in Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, but not on his own.
Wow, thanks, lawyers.
Yeah, confusing.
Yeah, I have trouble following all that stuff.
So do, I think, the people at the studios. Because it's the same thing with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Because they were in the X-Men movies and the Marvel Universe movies. So anyways, in that movie, Hulk becomes a gladiator in a similar thing where he battles, and he likes it because that's what Hulk is kind of all about. And it doesn't matter who he hurts in this. He's kind of let loose. So Mark Ruffalo only had, I think, 3 weeks of shooting on this. So it's going to be mostly Hulk.
Oh, okay.
So we'll also see if Hulk is becoming more intelligent. If maybe he has more speaking roles.
They get, I can't think of his name. The original Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno?
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
If he's on cast, he's got some speaking lines.
Yeah.
Because he did the one puny god. And
Yep. He's done, I think,
Avengers?
all of the speaking roles for...
Has it been more than just, like, grunts and growls?
No.
Okay.
But, again, that's
Yeah.
how he usually talks. But there are versions of Hulk, like Joe Fixit. Back in the 80s, he became a bouncer in Las Vegas. It was during his Gray Hulk days.
Okay.
So there's different versions of Hulk. One of them's gray. And he found out that he would turn into the Hulk when the moon was out. So he just started wearing these big suits and like a big hat to cover himself from the sun. And he started working in like the nightclubs for like different mobsters and stuff. And they call him Joe Fixit. And he's a lot smarter than the Hulk, and like he can talk and stuff, but he's not as strong. And then there's Red Hulk and blah blah. Tons of different Hulks. But it'll be interesting to see if Hulk has more lines, because in the comics he can speak in like short sentences and still make sense. He's not just all rage and yelling and stuff. So.
In the movies, when he's in the form of the Hulk. Does he recognize, like, would he know that that's Thor? Like, would he know that he knows him?
It's possible, because in the trailer, we do see a kind of
recognition?
Recognition in the face.
Yeah.
So why is he attacking Thor? Well, maybe he wants to.
Extenuating circumstances.
I mean, they've always had a back and forth, him and Hulk, because they're the two strongest people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we've seen on a physical standpoint. What was your question?
If Hulk recognizes people that he would know.
Right.
That Mark Ruffalo would know.
Right.
But Thor did look a little different. He's got the short hair and the helmet.
He does have the short hair and the helmet.
And he doesn't have the hammer, so maybe Hulk was like, I don't know, he looks kind of familiar, screw it, smash.
Yeah. Maybe Thor just pissed off Hulk, where he said that they were friends from work. And he's like, no, we're not friends.
Friends.
Hulk smash, friend. So I look forward to it. I love Hulk. He's my favorite superhero ever since I was a kid. Thor Ragnarok trailer. Get me a full yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a yeah.
I haven't seen any Thor movie.
Just say meh.
Just yeah. Meh.
Meh. A meh from Jordan.
I do like the 80s action movie vibe at least from the trailer.
And the artwork.
Yeah,
like even the artwork
kind of
was
the pastel colors and stuff.
When Jordan and I had a clan on Grand Theft Auto, I had designed the logo because they had like a label designer, and it was a like 80s sunset sunburst where it's like
Vice City.
Like Vice City, so it was like a circle and then it had lines like cutting on
slowly getting bigger or thicker.
Yeah, thinner as it goes up. And it was a ninja doing a high kick in silhouette on top. Some palm trees, and the head was a T-Rex skeleton head. So it was like a T-Rex skeleton head. I bet that's still online somewhere.
Doing a ninja kick?
And it was Friendly Ends.
Yep.
Was the name of our clan.
Friendly Ends?
Friendly Ends, yeah. And that was even before...
Those were the days.
Those were the days, man. just repeating parachute missions to get 10K.
Yep.
It's the fastest way to gain money.
I always did the firefight ones, or the survival.
Survival ones,
Yeah.
those were fun.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher will not be appearing in episode 9 as previously thought. So Kathleen Kennedy came out during Star Wars Celebration and said, Carrie did all of her shooting for episode 8. We love it. She's in it a lot. And there are no plans to have her in episode 9. Her story's kind of done in episode 8. Which begs the question, how do you think Leia goes out? Are they just going to have to kill the old cast of characters? Because I can't really see her retiring during this new trilogy.
Oh, yeah. Or is it going to be the opening scroll of episode 9 and it says, Princess Leia has died? Like, just
Oh, yeah.
something quick. It's like,
Yeah.
and then just reference it later in the movie.
That's possible.
I don't know. I could see her just going off into the sunset somehow
Right.
in this movie. And kind of handing it
Trying
off.
to find Ben or something, maybe? Like,
You think Kylo's going to leave?
no, like her, like, she just leaves, try to find Ben, like, and they just leave it open, like, because you could always write it in
Trying
or
to find
reference it in or
Which
something.
Ben?
Isn't that her son's name? Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Isn't it Ben?
Is he leaving so she's looking for him?
Yeah, like, that's how they
Oh, okay.
play her out, sort
Oh,
of
okay.
thing. That's how they deal her out.
Okay.
It's like, oh no, she went to try to save Ben or something. Who knows, you know?
Yeah. No one knows because it's
No
not out yet.
one knows.
Jordan's just burping and swallowing and don't do those in that order, by the way. Don't swallow and burp. That's the worst. I think that kind of sums it up for trailer talk for this week. What do you think of the trailer, listener? Let us know on our Facebook page. All right, Twitter. Do something. Contact us, please. I'm so lonely on there.
We're not against begging.
No. I linked our Patreon page too. If you guys want to help support our efforts on getting us more solid streaming setup. What we're shooting for right now is the Elgato, which is a exterior device for streaming, so we can make our levels for sound and stuff match better.
Okay.
So we don't have to pull it up on our phones like, is it too loud? And then finding out later, oh, it was too quiet, now it's too loud. Just to streamline things there. So we can do more live stuff, because we'd like to do more live stuff. I'd like to do more live stuff. And I had chicken for dinner, so I'm sorry. Alexa, turn off. Are you adding stuff to Alexa?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, she just asked what I can add for you.
I'm not even on my phone.
I know, that's weird. Is it because I said I had chicken for dinner?
It's like adding chicken.
You must have said something that sounds like Alexa.
Oh, by the way, we're still recording.
Every time I talk to my coworker Kiri, my phone thinks I'm talking to Siri, and I didn't understand you.
I wasn't talking to her.
Jordan, have you been nerding out on anything this week?
I watched Deadpool, so we kind of covered mine alright.
Kyle?
More Doctor Who, and going back and playing some of the Division.
Oh, The Division.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think of that game?
It's better now.
It's better now.
Yeah. They did some, like you were saying a while back, they did a patch or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it's not bad. I like it. I'm a tactical junkie, so it's got tons of cool gear in it.
I liked it to the point where, I don't know, I think I have a level 15 guy or something. And I was shooting at one of the bosses in one of the little dungeons that you go into or whatever. And I must have shot at him for maybe 9 minutes. And I was like, okay. I can't do it anymore, man. I can't do it anymore.
It reminds me of, what was it? Not Breakdown.
The Russian one?
No.
The Russians invaded? What was that called? Now I'm getting mad. It was on PS2.
The one I'm
Game
thinking
am I
of
thinking
is
of?
the one I'm thinking of is like you create an agent, or you have like an agent. You can jump super high, like and
Crackdown.
Crackdown. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yes. So yes,
Never played it, but I know what it is.
Never even heard of it.
I was close with Breakdown.
You were. Crackdown.
Crack, break, only a letter off. Yes. Anyways, like the enemies in that one had just an extreme life bars where it's like you gotta put many of bullets into them, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but
Yeah.
at least some of the smaller level guys, it's like more realistic. You pop them in the head once they're done, so it's
Right.
like, I'll take it.
And I like the randomness of the survival aspect of that game.
Yes.
Where you can be walking around and you find out someone's getting mugged
Yeah.
and you can go kill the muggers. That's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I was expecting an MMO experience, and it's weird because both Destiny and The Division kind of advertise themselves as the game I want to play, and neither of them really lived up to it. Destiny 2 got a trailer recently as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Nice. See, my only experience with MMO was a game called Defiance.
Oh yeah.
Tied into the TV show.
Yeah.
I really liked the TV show.
Right. The game.
Didn't
was
like
really
the
bad.
game so much, but I mean, it was much more online orientated. Like other people. Like the Division has a very solid by yourself feel too. Like there's a certain place where you can go to interact with other people,
Yep.
but for the most part, you feel like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
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 Which I like. I don't know. I like that concept.
Yeah.
Anywho, that was my nerd out. What are you nerding out on?
I've been nerding out on. I've been playing Diablo 3 finally got seasons on PS4. Seasons have been on the PC version of the game for a long time, but it's basically a 3-month ranked ladder versus all the other players in the world. And you start with a brand new character, and you have to work your way up, and then there's a bunch of different challenges that you have to complete. I'm about 2/3 of the way done through all the challenges. I started, I think, Wednesday last week. So I'm really burning through the game. It makes it a lot easier when you're rewarded with every chapter, is what they break them up into, with 2 pieces of your class gear.
Oh, okay.
So
it's
goes
not,
a lot faster.
It's not new content. It's the same.
Yep, same
It's just
mindless button mashing stuff.
Slash.
But yeah, it's a new way to play the game. I always like the game when it resets and you have to build everything up back from the start, because after you hit max level, it's just more of the same. But I always had it on PS3, so I never experienced the Greater Rift stuff and mumbo jumbo.
So it's a little bit of
liking
new
it.
stuff for you.
Yeah, on not to brag, I mean kind of to brag, but I am 6,652nd on Witch Doctors for worldwide on PS4. So
That's weak.
Nice. Does it say how many witch doctors there are? Or
yeah,
does it say
when
total players? Like,
when I first started, I was in the 100,000, so
okay, so
made my way up.
you're in the top 6%.
I guess you're doing all right.
Greater Rift,
Top
35.
67. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I nerded out on. I found out that my Alexa has Jeopardy.
Yes, the J6 questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
like
I got 4 out of 6 right this morning.
Oh, nice.
So I was in the top 28% of Alexa Jeopardy players.
I think the last time we did it, but there was 3 of us sitting there, so it kind of had an unfair advantage. I think we ended up in the top 7.
That's a song. Hey Alexa, play Jeopardy. We'll get back to ending this. Well, that will do it for us here today. No live stream tonight. Gonna have to cut out a bunch of that. Jeez, I said at 33 minutes. We've been keeping this really short. 20 minutes later.
Well, when you played Jeopardy for 5 minutes.
It's true. It wasn't 5 minutes. It's just that section. That's 2 minutes. Anyways. You can reach us at facebook.com/WeSoundLikeNerds, also on Twitter using the hashtag WeSoundLikeNerds, at WSLN Podcast. Is that it? We also have a Patreon page. I already talked about that.
You talked about that.
Wow.
I want to be like Rick.
This is as many bowel movements as we could possibly force out.
You married him.
Yeah, she's stuck with me. Special thanks to Eli Show for doing our album cover artwork. Special thanks to Laura for doing our other artwork that we have. Banner.
Ooh.
Banner.
Thanks, Laura.
Bruce Banner artwork. Until 2 weeks from now, I guess, because that's how often we're getting these things out. I'm John.
I'm Jordan.
And this is Kyle.
Nerd out.